When the news broke a few days ago that after the disastrous performance of The Acolyte, that Disney and Lucasfilm had decided to cancel the series, no season 2 for Leslie Headland, Harvey Weinstein's former personal assistant, it came as shocking news to a lot of fans. Now, for the vast majority of people, they believed it should have been canceled. Most of them believed it never should have been made in the first place. But the idea that it was just that bad, that Disney decided to cancel this thing despite it fit the agenda that they wanted to push, that did come as a surprise to fans, but they rejoiced nonetheless. But to the small fraction of people out there that actually enjoyed and watched The Acolyte, they were devastated. But there is no doubt when you look at the data, this show deserved to be canceled. Regardless of how many anonymous stan Twitter accounts might tweet 150, 200 times a day about The Acolyte, when you actually looked at the ratings, you found out that no one tuned in. No one tuned in to watch this $180 million disaster. The lowest viewership numbers in history for Star Wars by a big margin. And of course, we saw the audience score. We knew just by the reaction of the people that did give it a chance that this was not something that should have any future in Star Wars. Nevertheless, those handful of fans out there, those people who gaslit themselves by thinking that because a handful of people on Twitter talk about something, that means people actually watched it, they were not ready to give up, and they are fighting back. Save The Acolyte trends as fans react to Star Wars TV show's cancellation, and they're even doing something so incredibly powerful. They're starting a petition, a change.org petition, because they are going to save it. Petition to Save The Acolyte already has hundreds of signatures from fans. Now, this very article is embarrassing, to be honest with you, because just look at this. In just 24 hours, it blew up with over 700 signatures. The idea you would describe it as blowing up with only 700 signatures in 24 hours is pathetic. Now, in the 2 days since this had been started, it has generated some momentum. You can see here, 13,000 signatures as I make this video right now, as so many people are answering the call on social media like this. The finale of The Acolyte was tailor-made to set up a season 2, and the fans truly deserve to see where it would have gone. Ignore the people who don't want it. We want it. Who's with me? Hashtag Save The Acolyte. There's a big problem with that, and I could go through hundreds and hundreds and hundreds, and even just from one account, you can see several posts about this constantly, time after time. That's why it's been trending. The problem is, the premise is off. The reason that Disney Star Wars canceled this was because no one watched it to begin with. It wasn't to cater to one side of the fandom. No, they targeted this side of the fandom. They targeted those people on social media, these very young viewers with pronouns in their bios, with trans flags as part of their name. These people, right? The new modern audience, those are the ones they catered to. And it wasn't enough to make the show a success. Let's read a little bit of this Renew the Acolyte petition. The Acolyte opened the doors for so many Star Wars fans, new and old, to feel seen, to feel welcome and accepted by an IP and fandom that hadn't previously been so for anyone who didn't check off certain boxes. Yeah, really? There's no black Star Wars fans out there. There's no gay Star Wars fans out there. There's no female Star Wars fans out there. There absolutely are. They're fans of Star Wars for what it was, not for what activists are trying to make it. The idea that you need to feel someone with your exact same body type, with your exact same gender, skin color, whatever, to feel connected to something is fucking weird. Not only that, but The Acolyte became a beacon for representation that many fans have felt lacking in the Star Wars universe for decades. So you've hated Star Wars for decades. Got it. Understand. With both creators and actors that truly understand the world of Star Wars, that's just not true. The Acolyte quickly became a fan favorite because of the clear passion and love shown in the work and the drive to give us something new and fresh to fall in love with. New characters with new stories that still existed with the same galaxies we cherished. Regardless of the orchestrated review bombing by a small fraction of loud trolls. I'm going to stop you right there. Just because a lot of people don't like something doesn't mean that it's just trolls, that it's just bots, it's just all made up. And it certainly doesn't mean that that's a small portion of the fandom. The small portion of the fandom we have discovered through this entire thing. The small portion of the fandom are you people. You people that just want to see representation and diversity above everything else. This is a show that was made for you. You guys talked about it on Twitter. You were constantly doing your fan cams. You were constantly tweeting about it. And nobody tuned in except you handful of people. You are the small, insignificant fraction of the fandom, and it's finally time you people woke up and realized that. You've been fooling yourselves for years. This is the proof right in front of your fucking face. And all the other obstacles the show had to face straight out of the gate, it trended repeatedly throughout. And after the show aired, it has a very dedicated fan base willing to fight for its continuation. It's a story that deserves to be told. No, it doesn't. The story does not deserve to be told because it had an opportunity and no one was interested. The people that did give it a shot, regardless of whether they were positive or negative about it going in, the people that did give it a shot, the vast majority of them ripped it to pieces. They thought it was amateurish. They thought it was completely incompetent. And now you're once again trying to lie to yourselves. And, I do believe, there are people out there that enjoy the show, that want to tweet about this show, this small, insignificant portion of the fandom. This change.org petition, I think it'll acquire several tens of thousands of people signing it. I really do. But unfortunately for them, that doesn't matter. The proof is already out there that there is not a demand for this show. Just because it trends on Twitter doesn't mean shit. There are shows out there, say something like Reacher, that just gets billions of minutes watched out there when it premieres on Amazon Prime, which has far fewer subscribers than Disney Plus, by the way. There are shows like that almost never trend because the audience that's watching it and consuming it, they're not going out and tweeting about it 100 fucking times a day like you freaks are. Yet it's a far more successful show. Even if 100,000 of you, even 100,000 hardcore Acolyte fans sign up, doesn't make a difference to Disney. Clearly, even with all the people out there, all the people that are so engaged that said, this is the Star Wars for us, you were not enough to make a successful show. You are the small portion of the fandom that does not have any actual power or influence because you're just that irrelevant. And you know what? We'll go even further. Let's say 100,000 of you out there take $1,000 of your own money and donate it to Disney to crowdfund the Acolyte Season 2. As if any of these people actually have any cash to spend. But if they did that, this hypothetical situation, guess what? That would only pay for half a season of this bullshit. And that is the problem. There are not enough people watching this to justify spending money on it. That's why it was canceled in the first place. Not anything to do with Disney trying to appeal or cater to a different side of the fan base. It was just a straight up budget decision. But you continue to fool yourselves. And if you needed any more proof that people truly are delusional about some of this stuff, I wanted to show you this tweet. Numbers don't lie. The Acolyte should have never been canceled. This is one of those websites that tells you they're talking about streaming numbers and streaming stats. That's where the screenshot is from. That tells you, hey, look at the most popular shows are streaming right now. What these people fail to understand is that this has little to nothing to do with actual streaming numbers, with the actual amount of people that are watching that thing. It has everything to do with the amount of people that are talking about something. And as we've stated time after time, that doesn't mean people are watching it. Just take this chart that this person put out there to think he proves a point. Tuesday, August 20th, most popular TV shows online. House of the Dragon, number 1. The Acolyte, number 2. Just to put this in perspective, this is the day after it was canceled. The Acolyte never reached anywhere near the top streaming show. It barely cracked the top 10 for original programming. This is an online engagement score. That means people are talking about it. The day after it was canceled, yes, people were talking about it on social media, and they're still talking about it now. Most people laughing, and some people trying to get it renewed. This means nothing. And this is what these people have been gaslit from the very beginning. When places like Collider, other shill outlets in the media were trying to gaslight people to make them think the Acolyte was successful, when in reality, they were just using streaming charts that don't tell you streaming numbers and instead are talking about how many people are interacting with something online, regardless of whether it's positive or negative, tweeting about it, laughing at it, things like that. This entire thing is a joke. And I also have seen a couple don't renew the Acolyte petitions like anti-petitions. I think that's cringe and gay, to be honest with you. People can do whatever they want, but that in particular, I think is kind of dumb. The shit's being canceled, rightfully so. It should not come back. It doesn't deserve to come back. And there's no possible reason to give Acolyte a season 2. Shouldn't have got a season 1. What do you guys think about this? Let me know in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.